He said he killed him. Said Ouija board made him go overboard though.
I would not kill my mother and my brother.
You also cause some kind of a moving maniac for you people?
Our story takes place in Pensacola, Florida, which is home to some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. But the beauty of Pensacola does not keep the odd crime away. One of the crimes being the Black Widow murders, in which a wife kills several of her husbands. Then there is the Billings case, where the family was killed in their home, in which 8 of their special need children were present. Escambia, the county where Pensacola can be found, is also the town where Ted Bundy was captured and put to death. However, today's case is that of the Blue Moon murders, called so for the connection to the occult and witchcraft. The case is a triple homicide where 2 brothers and their mother were the victims. The crime scene had signs of witchcraft and was done on the night of a rare blue moon, hence the name the Blue Moon Murders. When the police arrived on the scene, the home was in disarray, with mounds of blankets under which the bodies. In one of the rooms was the body of a female, that being Von Seal Smith, and 2 more bodies were found, Richard, 49, and John Smith, 47. The lead detective at the time of the crime was Matt Infinger. John was found sitting on the couch where the murder came up and hit him in his head with a claw hammer and cut his throat. John showed no signs of self-defense, so John either knew the killer or was asleep, and Von Seal was killed in the same manner. However, Richard was killed by a gunshot wound to the head, and then his throat was cut. When the neighbors were questioned, the police would find that the family was a bit of a mystery themselves. The neighbors would say that they never saw Von Seal leave the house, and that she would receive 3 to 5 packages from QVC a day. The home was full of boxes and dresses. The 2 brothers were about the same as the mother. No neighbor had any contact with them. The older of the 2, Richard, worked for a secretive Homeland Security division that was in the crypto department. Detective Infinger would wonder if Richard's job had anything to do with the murders. When Richard was found, his car keys were missing, and there was DNA in his front pants pocket. A full investigation was launched to see if any foreign assassin was responsible for what happened to the family. Some DHS investigators would work with Detective Infinger, and it would quickly be determined that there was nothing that Richard was working on that would lead to the death of the family. Detective Infinger would turn his attention to a man that lived near the family. The man would claim to be part of the Wicca religion, in which the practice of rituals tied to the faces of the moon would be held. In this man's home, he had an altar set up with dead flowers and a dagger and a pentagram on the floor. The Smith family that lived out of town would find out about the deaths from the news. Faya Hess recounts memories of her aunt Von Seal and her cousin John, saying that the death of John was the hardest due to John being like a child in a man's body. John could always be found with a smile on his face and would be sweet to everyone he came across. Faya would also say that Von Seal would become a shut-in after the death of her husband and after falling ill. Before that, they would travel very often. Richard would fill the role of his father, taking care of the family after his death. The biggest question that Faya would have would be that of the 3rd son, Donald Wayne Hartung, who also lived in Pensacola, and why he did not reach out to the family about the deaths. The reason being that Donald was being interviewed at the police station. Detective Infinger would question Donald about the family dynamic. At this time, Donald was 59 years old and would be working as a security guard at a local hospital. Donald would tell Detective Infinger that he had a good relationship with his stepbrothers and his mother, that he had been at the house 3 days before the murders. Donald had a routine of coming over every Tuesday to cook dinner for the family. Donald at this time did not know about the deaths of the family.
So your mother's pretty much the only family
She's all I got.
She was the one that was always there for you.
That's right. She's always there for me. She was always there for me. There ain't nothing in this world I could ask my mother for that she wouldn't give me.
Really?
That's right. Nothing.
She can give you anything you wanted?
Anything. My mama loved me, I loved her. And we were together all that time while Rich was in Vietnam. We lived up here in Brewton. Prior to that, she worked down here in Pensacola. When I was a baby, I stayed with my grandparents, and Mama worked down here at Kimstrand.
Upon hearing the news, Donald did not seem to be concerned about the cause of death, and being the last person to see them alive, Donald would be asked the big question.
Could have been anybody.
Were they having problems with anybody? Was John having problems with anybody or RT?
Not recently. Not that I know of.
Were you having problems with them at all?
No, I haven't had any problems with them. We're not having any problems.
So something didn't happen when you were over there Tuesday night and you killed them?
No. Nothing happened.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because if something happened, now's the time to tell me.
I would not kill my mother and my brothers.
Okay.
Donald was asked if his home could be searched, and he gave consent. In the search of Donald's home, the police would find that Donald was a practicing member of Wicca. This would be the man that I mentioned earlier. Donald's family would not be surprised, to say the least. Donald's mother, a Christian, would be upset about Donald's Wiccan belief. Von Seal was very against it and did not want Donald around her other two sons. Donald would have something different to tell Detective Enfinger. Detective Enfinger had talked to the neighbors of the family, and they would tell him that Donald would only come over Tuesdays and never any other day of the week. With this information, Donald would be brought back to the police station around 1:30 a.m. the same day of the body's discovery for more questioning.
Murder, I would be so looking for in time. I'll be showing plenty of emotion. Believe me, I've already showed some emotion. So, well, not to many people, but I've got my way of handling things. How do you handle things? I'll hold it inside. I don't want it. Were there things going on in your family and you've held it in for so long? Then finally you had enough? There was not angry? Nothing going on in my family. Nothing at all. You killed your mom? I did not kill my mother. And then killed your brother? I wouldn't kill my mom or my brother. Either one of my brothers. I mean, do I look like some kind of a blooming maniac to you people? I mean, you do to me.
The first 24 hours of the investigation, the working theory was that Donald Hartung would use the blue moon to fulfill some Wiccan ritual. With Detective Enfinger doing research into the Wiccan religion, he would later find it to be at odds with the belief. A self-proclaimed Wiccan high priest would reach out to Detective Enfinger for him to retract his statements about Donald Hartung being a Wiccan. But this would be after the sheriff had made headlines about the crime being related to witchcraft. It would seem that the case being related to witchcraft would muddy the water of the investigation. During the interrogation, Detective Enfinger would accuse Donald of murder, but Donald would admit to nothing. With no evidence against Donald, he would be let go. At the funeral, Donald would not be seen crying for the loss of his loved ones. Faye would recount the time where the family would come to Donald's house, and they would be all sitting at the table. Donald would stand up and say, "If I'm the killer and they're so smart, why did they not find this?" And he would slam a machete down on the table. With no physical evidence, the case would have to be made on DNA and fingerprints. The problem with that being that Donald was known to be at the family's house every Tuesday, so they would have to find DNA in places where it shouldn't be. And they would find fingerprints on Richard's checkbook in the zipper of his work folder. This would go against what Donald had said in the interview. Donald's DNA will also be found on the inside of Richard's belt. In the interview, Donald would say he has not seen Richard in 2 to 3 weeks. The most damning evidence would be found in the trash can of the family, that being some cigarette butts on top of some bloody towels with Donald's DNA on them. 3 months would pass, and it would finally be time to arrest Donald Wayne Hartung.
Has been made in a 3-month-old triple murder in Pensacola.
4 years would pass before Donald Wayne Hartung would see his day in court. The prosecutor would not mention anything about witchcraft in the opening statement, due to them feeling that Donald, being a follower of the Wiccan belief, had no sway in the murders. The lead prosecutor would also show the motive that Donald had for the murders, that being the last will and testament of Von Seal Smith. showing that all three of Richard, John, and Von Steele Smith would have to be deceased for Donald to receive an inheritance. The lead defense would make the opening statement saying that there is no evidence found at Donald's house, and as far as the will goes, Donald Wayne Hartung Jr. is excluded, and his client is Donald Wayne Hartung Sr. The 4 years it took for the trial to start gave the prosecutor ample time to accumulate evidence against Donald, and that being a jailhouse informant named Marlon Levon Purifoy, who had been housed with Donald.
Did he ever go to your cell?
No, he never went to my cell.
Okay. Always his?
Always here.
Why was that?
Because people were scared of him.
Oh.
And my cellar was scared of him too.
Why?
They thought he was a witch. She left him out the will. That really made him mad, he said.
And what about Mr. Hartung's son? About the will?
Oh, she left him out too. That made him mad.
Did he tell you, I guess his mom told him that he was out of the will?
Yeah, he said his mama told him back in 2012 that he was out the will, him and his son.
And did he tell you who killed his mother and two brothers?
He said he killed them.
Did he tell you why?
He said he wanted the money because she left him out the will.
Okay, so if he was mad at his mom, why not just kill his mom? Why the two brothers?
Because the money would go to the brothers because he was never in the will.
Okay. Did Mr. Hartung tell you if his family had money?
Yeah.
Okay, what did he tell you?
He told me the brothers' granddaddy had worked at Goodyear, and you know what I'm saying, and the granddaddy left them a lot of money, left the daddy a lot of money. When the daddy passed, the sons them got the money and stuff.
Okay. Did he say how he found out that his family had money?
From his mama telling him. Well, he said he'd been playing it last 3 to 4 years. He said Ouija board made him go overboard though.
The what? I'm sorry?
A Ouija board.
What about a Ouija board?
He said that really made him do it, made him go overboard.
Now, did he tell you any details about the day the murders actually happened?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what did he tell you? Did he tell you when he went over there?
Yeah, he went up like 11 o'clock, something like that.
Okay. And do you know what day?
He said on a Tuesday. He always go there on a Tuesday.
He said he always goes there on a Tuesday?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
And when he went over there on the Tuesday, did he tell you what he did?
Okay, so he first said when he went over there, he said he left his dog, Zena, because he knew what he was going to do. So he left the dog over there, then he went over there and cooked.
Okay, did he tell you what he cooked?
He said he cooked chicken and corn, I think string beans or something like that, and biscuits.
Okay, and after he cooked, did he tell you what he did?
Okay, he said he went and took some cameras down because his mother got hurt one time. She fell, and I guess the brother Richard had installed some cameras. He took them down.
Okay. All right. And did he say if the family ate or not?
Say it again? Yeah, they ate.
Okay. And then what happened after they ate?
He said he killed his brother after that,
Okay.
which is John.
I'm sorry?
He killed his brother, John.
Okay. Did he tell you how he killed his brother, John?
He said he hit him in the head from behind and cut his throat.
Did he tell you what he hit him with?
I think he said a hammer. I can't recall.
And then did you say he slit his throat?
He said he cut his throat.
Cut his throat.
Yeah.
Did he tell you where John was when this happened?
He said it was like in a den watching TV.
Okay. Did he tell you what he did after he did that to John?
He went to his mother, and then he tortured her so she can tell the combination for the safes and stuff.
He said he tortured her, I'm sorry?
He tortured her.
How?
He cut her left pinky finger so he can tell the combination for the safes and stuff.
Okay. And did he say if he got the combinations to the safe?
Yeah, she told him where it was in a black purse.
Okay. And did he say what else he did to his mom?
Then he said he hit her in the head and slit her throat.
Did he say what he hit his mom in the head with?
No, he didn't. I can't recall. He just said he hit her in the head.
Okay. Did he tell you where his mother was?
In the front room watching TV.
Okay. After he did this to his brother and his mom, did he say what he did?
He said he went in and got the stuff like money out of the safe and stuff in his mama's room.
He said there was a safe in his mom's room?
Yeah, in the closet. In her closet.
Did he say anything about Richard? What happened on that day?
He waited till Richard came home. And, Richard. He said Richard always come through the back door, and he shot Richard. But he said it didn't kill him. It didn't kill him. So Richard put up a struggle.
Okay. And did he say anything else about Richard?
He said he cut Richard's throat and stuff. But he said Richard put up a fight with him though.
Did he say anything about did he say why he had to use a gun?
He said Richard was big, like 300 pounds, plus he's like worked for Homeland Security.
The statement about the Ouija board would point back to the first search of Donald's home, where a Ouija board could be found. Mr. Parafoy would also say that a lot of inmates were scared of Donald, saying that he was a witch. This would point out the validity of Mr. Parafoy as an informant, due to Vaughn still having a cut on her finger and the safe being opened at the crime scene. On cross-examination, Mr. Parafoy would prove his worth. The time of death was the next topic on hand. The medical examiner said that the murder took place 3 days before they were found that Friday. That would mean Tuesday would have been the day that they were killed. A neighbor would be called to the stand and would recount seeing Donald at the house that Tuesday. Richard would be seen on CCTV leaving his workplace Tuesday, wearing the same clothes he was found in. The defense would bring their own medical examiner, who would say that the temperature and the rigor mortis would indicate that Wednesday, not Tuesday, would be the day of death. In the end, what got Donald was the fingerprints and DNA found on Richard's checkbook and the inside of his belt, and the cigarettes in the trash can. The jury would take 4 hours of determining the verdict of guilty. Donald would ask for a mistrial, saying that his lawyers were incompetent, and the judge would dismiss Donald's claims. Donald had the possibility of being put to death. However, the jury voted no on all 3 counts, and Donald would be convicted to serve 3 life sentences.